Hi everyone, welcome to today's cooking demo. For this recipe we are doing apple crisp, and with it being fall just right around the corner, this is one of my favorite recipes. So for today's recipe you will need 6 apples. So for my recipe I chose Gala apples and I got them right from my farmer's market. So before we go any further, I want to show you how I cut my apples. So I have one of these little cutters that makes it super simple. You just line it up right in the middle and then you gotta push down. So then they come out to be these perfect little apple slices. And then for this recipe, we want the apples to be thinly sliced. So these are a bit thick, so I'm going to go ahead and cut them in half. That way, with them being thinner, they're going to cook easier. You know, they won't be as crunchy and it won't take as long for them to cook as well. These apples are very juicy, which is going to be nice, because the juice from the apples is what helps make the sauce for the crisp. Now, if you don't have one of these choppers, and just pull the core out, but if you don't have one of those choppers, you can just use a knife and an apple. So what I usually do is I usually start by cutting off each side. So that gives you some big slices, so then you get this circular slice, and then I just cut off each side. And then that leaves you with the core. And then from there, I just chop them into smaller pieces. So, now after you get your apples cut up, we are going to take 1 tablespoon of our flour, and we're just going to kind of sprinkle it all over the apples. And then we're going to mix it around. So along with the 6 apples, you're also going to need the 1 tablespoon of flour. It can be whole wheat flour or all-purpose flour. Today I chose whole wheat flour. Whole wheat flour is going to give you more fiber, more nutrients. And then you are also going to need an additional 1/3 cup of flour, so whether you choose whole wheat or all-purpose. And then you're going to need 3 tablespoons of melted butter. And then for your dry ingredients, you're going to need 1/3 cup of walnuts, pecans, or old-fashioned oats, whichever one you prefer. I chose old-fashioned oats. If you're allergic to nuts, you're going to want to choose the old-fashioned oats as well. And then you're also going to need 1/4 cup brown sugar, which I already have in here, along with a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a pinch of salt, and then 3 tablespoons of butter. So after you get the flour kind of coated all over the apples, we're going to pour these apples right into here, right into our dish. So now the recipe calls for an 8x8 baking dish. I don't have an 8x8 baking dish, so this is just a smaller one that I have. So after that, you're going to add the flour, our 1/3 cup of flour, to our dry ingredients, to the rest of our dry ingredients. I'm just going to mix these all together. Make sure everything. This is what is going to make that crumble crisp that goes on top. And then after you have all your dry ingredients mixed together, you're going to pour the butter on top of it, just like that. And then we're going to mix this all together. So this isn't supposed to be soupy or anything, it's going to make a crumble. So you just got to kind of keep mixing it until it, kind of thickens up and everything gets coated with the butter. I'm just going to keep going. So before you start, you're going to want to set your oven to 350. And then this only cooks for about 35 minutes, so it's actually pretty quick. And it's a super simple, easy recipe. There's not a whole lot of prep besides cutting the apples, which is really nice. So, our apples are featured food of this recipe. So our apples contain a good amount of fiber. Fiber is great for our digestive system, and apples also contain vitamin C. Vitamin C is great for our immune system, especially with like cold and flu season coming up. That really helps. And then also apples contain vitamin B6. Vitamin B6 is great for our body to help absorb like protein and carbohydrates, other vitamins and minerals that we need. So after this comes out to be a little crumble, we're just going to pour it right over top of the apples. So now the flour that is coating the apples, and then that is also in the topping, that is going to help absorb the juices from the apples when they cook. So when the apples cook, they're going to start, releasing their juices, and then the flour is going to help make those juices thicker so that it makes more of like a sauce so that it's not so watery. So, and then all you're going to do is put this in the oven for about 35 minutes, and then you have a great tasty apple crisp.